It's Tuesday, March 10th. In the headlines, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton addresses concerns about Cuban Medical Corporation program. In business news, more European flights to Jamaica this summer. Regionally, complex eye surgeries now more accessible in Guyana. And in sports, the JAAA president confident of Jamaica's Carifta dominance after impressive trials performances. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The 2026-2027 budget debate is set to get underway in Parliament today, March 10. Finance Minister Favour Williams will be opening the discussions on a proposed $1.4 trillion national budget that will shape government spending and policies for the upcoming fiscal year. Among the key issues to watch are new revenue measures, which could mark a shift from the government's long-standing stance of avoiding new taxes, as authorities seek additional funds to support national programs. The presentations should also outline spending priorities, including allocations for infrastructure projects, public services, and disaster recovery efforts, following recent weather-related damage that has placed pressure on the country's finances. Another major focus of the debate will be the credibility of the government's economic projections, after fiscal watchdogs raised concerns about whether some of the revenue and growth estimates are realistic. The debates will run from today, March 10, until March 24. The PBCJ will be providing live coverage on its television channels and its social media platforms. You are encouraged to join the conversation. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton is seeking to reassure Jamaicans that the country's health services will not be disrupted as the long-standing Cuban Medical Corporation program comes to an end. Speaking at a virtual press conference on Monday, Dr. Tufton said the government is moving quickly to maintain critical services while exploring options for Cuban medical workers who may wish to remain in Jamaica. That includes the Jamaica-Cuba Eye Care Program at St. Joseph's Hospital, which will continue operating under the current Cuban team until March 20.
The intention is not to discontinue the program. The intention is to work with the existing team up to the point when they may discontinue or continue, depending on where the discussions lead, and beyond that, to find alternative ways to continue the work.
The minister explained that this means surgeries already scheduled will proceed, along with follow-up care for patients who have undergone eye procedures, including retina-related treatments. He adds that patients already prepared for surgery will also be accommodated.
Patients, therefore, who previously received surgery under the program are encouraged to attend their scheduled follow-up appointments to ensure proper recovery and continue care.
In the meantime, the Health Ministry is moving to strengthen staffing levels locally and internationally to reduce reliance on any single overseas program. In a follow-up story, Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie says President of the Jamaica Teachers Association has no authority to issue ultimatums to his ministry regarding the use of schools as emergency shelters. The minister was responding to comments made by JTA President Mark Malava during the association's post-Hurricane Melissa National Thanksgiving service on Sunday.
I wouldn't even waste the time I'd be to get involved in any controversy with the JTA president. The president and the JTA own no schools in this country, and they can't give the government an ultimatum to move persons who are homeless, who have experienced the devastation of disaster out of schools. So we are not working with any agenda set by the JTA, and we're not going to be bullied or forced into any position. I shouldn't be surprised by the tone and the tenor of the president.
The JTA president gave the ministry 3 weeks to relocate hurricane-displaced persons currently housed in schools, warning the association could escalate its response if no action is taken, adding that housing shelterees alongside students raises safety concerns and could undermine the confidence of schools. But Minister Mackenzie says he has received no reports of conflict between displaced residents and the schools accommodating them. Did you know that drowning remains a major global public health problem? According to the World Health Organization, an estimated 300,000 people died from drowning in 2021. The 2024 Global Status Report on Drowning Prevention by the World Health Organization highlights major progress and persistent gaps in global efforts to reduce drowning deaths. Here's more information in this week's Living Healthy report.
Every hour, more than 30 people lose their lives to a silent threat. You might think I'm talking about a disease, but I'm talking about drowning. Drowning affects people everywhere, but it's often not spoken about. It can happen to anyone, but it hurts kids and young people the most. For children like me, drowning is one of the top causes of death. In fact, drowning is the 5th leading cause of death for children aged 1 to 4 and the 4th for those aged 5 to 14. Imagine this. Every 7 minutes, somewhere in the world, a child younger than 5 loses their life to drowning. In 2021 alone, around 300,000 people drowned. Some parts of the world are more affected than others. In low and middle income countries, the drowning rate is more than 3 times higher than in high income countries. Drowning can be prevented through several actions recommended by WHO. These actions are being used at various levels across countries. A concern is that only 22% of countries include swimming and water safety skills in their school curricula, leaving many young people unprepared to safely interact with water. And only 16% of countries have laws requiring fencing around swimming pools, a simple measure proven to reduce child drownings. Only 2/3 of countries report national laws for the use of life jackets while boating. Life jackets can buy vital time in an emergency and save lives. But there is hope. Since 2000, the global drowning rate has gone down by 38%. That's amazing progress. Governments and communities are working hard to protect people. Today, 73% of countries report having national search and rescue services to respond to emergencies quickly, and an impressive 81% of countries provide free national weather alert services, which give safety information at times of extreme weather events. We've made a difference, but there's still a lot more to do. Drowning is something we can prevent if we all work together. Governments, organizations, families, and even young people like me. Every life lost is one too many. Anyone can drown. No one should.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing you the developments shaping markets, capital access, and business decision-making across Jamaica and the region. Let's get into the stories that matter. The Jamaica Tourist Board confirmed that more than 160,000 airline seats will be available from the United Kingdom and continental Europe this summer. From the United Kingdom, British Airways, TUI, and Virgin Atlantic will collectively offer 136,000 seats, an increase from roughly 125,000 last year. TUI will provide the largest share of capacity, followed by British Airways and Virgin Atlantic, with flights connecting London, Manchester, Birmingham to Kingston and Montego Bay. Flights will originate from Amsterdam, Frankfurt, Milan, and Lisbon, with Germany expected to be the region's largest European source market. The country's net international reserves, NIR, the difference between the foreign assets and foreign liabilities, climbed again in February of this year when compared with January of this year. The Bank of Jamaica reported the NIR climbed by US $72.4 million to US $6.8 billion in February. This was due to an increase of US $69.7 million in currency and deposits held at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York and a US $16 million decrease in securities, minus a $13.2 million dip in IMF special drawing rights or IMF currency. The country's short-term foreign liabilities to the IMF for money to be repaid in 1 year's time basically held firm at US $13 million. For the trading period of March 10, 2026, the most actively traded securities were Kentire Holdings Jamaica Limited with 4,151,577 units representing 16.16% of market sales activities. Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited with 4,119,588 units representing 16.48% of market sales activities. With Cinco Group Limited ordinary shares of 2,617,502 units representing 10.47% of market sales activities. Investor activity remained concentrated in transportation, media, and beverage distribution plays, signaling continued interest in dividend-producing and strategic assets. Turning to the foreign exchange market based on Bank of Jamaica data for March 10, 2026, Forex traders recorded significant activity with strong demand across major currencies. For the US dollar, trading margins reflected steady liquidity, with the US selling at $157.56 and buying at $155.78. For the Canadian dollar, moderate gains supported by $1.03 transaction spreads. The Canadian dollar sold for $114.90 and was bought for $115.93. For the British pound, continued volatility offered short-term trading opportunities, $1.79 in profits for the banks. The British pound sold for $209.20 and was bought for $210.99. These movements underscore the importance of cash flow timing and currency awareness for businesses managing import costs, debt servicing, or overseas exposure. For the credit report tip of the day, your credit report tells a story. And used correctly, it can be the quiet power tool for navigating education, health, and retirement all at the same time. Now, this is not a story about judgment, but about the patterns. Your credit report shows how money has flowed through your life, what you borrowed, how you repaid it, and how consistently you've honored your commitments. It reveals where you are financially today and what options may be available to you tomorrow. When parents are supporting higher education while trying to protect their retirement savings, this clarity becomes empowering. Because once you know the truth of your numbers, you can begin making decisions that align with your bigger vision. For our funded and focused feature, one of the challenges that entrepreneurs face is surprisingly not just earning money, but directing the money to grow. At the end of the day, you want to have something to show for your hard work and sacrifice. This is another area that artificial intelligence can support you. As your business grows, AI can help you think strategically. It can analyze sales trends, identify your most profitable products, suggest where to invest more money, and show which marketing strategies are working. And it can also help plan expansion. This is where AI starts to become a business advisor and not just a tool. And that's today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing clarity to capital, markets, and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay intentional, and keep building forward. See you soon.
In regional news, for years, scores of patients in need of complex eye surgeries had to travel abroad, often to Trinidad and Tobago, for much-needed care. Getting surgeries done abroad is a costly, time-consuming task, one which many patients won't need to do any longer. Through a new partnership between the private Optic Eye Hospital in Guyana and the Trinidad Eye Hospital. Over the past several days, 13 complex eye surgeries were done in Guyana. And as the new partnership takes shape, many more individuals in need will benefit in the months and years ahead. More details in this report.
Just like that, I noticed my eye, like something was pulling, and in a second it pulled back. So I know it's something like I didn't see good. So now when I come back, now I decide to come to Dr. Sukrin. And then he turned and tell me it's more than cataract, it's serious, and the surgery cannot do over here. It have to do in Trinidad. And I had to go over there, and I had to spend a lot of money to do the surgery. And I had to go back to do a second surgery. And I'm so thankful that Dr. Bowler with Dr. Sugrim come together, if he could come over here to do these surgeries.
Kamla Tulsi is one of several patients who underwent a complex eye surgery and got much-needed care right here in Guyana. She underwent her procedure at the Optic Eye Hospital, a private facility now partnering with the Trinidad Eye Hospital to make such health services more accessible to Guyanese.
For more than a decade, we've been doing eye surgeries on Guyana patients in Trinidad. We do approximately 100 of these surgeries or more a year, and these patients have to fly over to Trinidad, not only costly, the flights, the accommodation, but their families have to travel with them, spend a minimum of 2 weeks in Trinidad, and have eye surgery there. So it's very mentally traumatic for patients to think about all of that. And arranging all of that, you could imagine all the logistics and planning. And all of that now has been taken away by the team coming here and doing the surgeries. Retina surgery being the most complex eye surgery you could have requires a lot of coordination. A lot more stuff has to be put in place to be able to accomplish the surgery. The pre-op care, starting almost 2 weeks before, requires a lot of investigation, pre-op planning, and then the surgery itself taking place needs to have everything in place. Because of Optique, because of the coordination of the team in Optique, we were able to put all of that together over a 3-month period to get everything necessary to be able to have a successful trip. On this trip, we were able to do 13 eye surgeries.
In less than a week, Trinidad's Dr. Ronnie Bolo worked alongside several Guyanese to help 13 patients. In the months ahead, these services will continue.
Because it takes so much to prepare for these trips, we envisage it's going to be every 1 to 2 months. I think the need is going to rise over time, and we're going to have to be here much more regularly than that. I am committed to come to Guyana as much as is required to get these surgeries done.
Local ophthalmologist Dr. Shailendra Sugrim believes there's a growing need for eye care services and more complex procedures to support citizens in need. As such, this partnership with the Trinidad Eye Hospital is crucial.
We encounter a lot of patients with retinal disease because of the high burden of chronic diseases we have in the country. Diabetes is becoming the #1 cause for many complications, and it's a big burden on the health system. And through the years working, we realized this. We try our best to accommodate the patients, and over the past years, we found that the need for specialized retinal surgeries had to be outsourced by having patients or encouraging patients to have their surgeries done overseas. So we started the retinal surgeries in the public hospital, but of course, there are limitations, and that's why this public-private partnership is a good initiative for Guyana, and we're benefiting with collaboration from our colleagues in Trinidad.
The regional collaboration promises to make eye care services more accessible in Guyana. For patients in need, the partnership is a timely intervention.
Before you go anywhere else, you're doing right here, I encourage you, come and do it right here. You pay quarter the amount of money.
Reporting for the newsroom, Vishani Ragabir.
Regional air connectivity continues to expand as Inter-Caribbean Airways launches a new route between Trinidad and Tobago and Barbados. The service, which began on Sunday with 4 weekly flights, comes just weeks after another regional carrier introduced new service to Trinidad and Tobago. TTT News brings us more.
Just a month after Win Air inaugurated its route between Trinidad and Tobago and St. Martin, another regional carrier, Inter-Caribbean Airways, has officially launched its service between Trinidad and Barbados. Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation Eliza Crew noted that Inter-Caribbean already links more than 20 destinations throughout the region and said this expansion signals the growing confidence in TNT.
Just over a month ago, we gathered here to welcome another airline to our shores with the launch of a new regional air service to Trinidad and Tobago. Today's event continues that positive momentum and reflects the growing confidence in our country as a gateway for Caribbean travel and connectivity.
Founder and chairman of Inter-Caribbean, Lyndon Gardiner, stressed the importance of the Barbados-Trinidad and Tobago route to the airline.
Trinidad and Tobago is the largest economy in the English-speaking Caribbean, the largest oil and gas producer in the region, a financial center with an educated professional workforce that moves constantly across the Caribbean on business. Energy executives, financial services professionals, engineers, lawyers, consultants. These are not leisure travelers with flexible schedules. These are professionals who need frequency and connectivity.
Meanwhile, Minister of Trade, Investment and Tourism, Satyakama Maharaj, highlighted the tourism gains expected from the introduction of these new airlines.
Increased inter-Caribbean airlift is especially important for Trinidad and Tobago because it strengthens our position as a high-value, experience-rich destination. With easier regional access, more Caribbean travelers can discover the depth of what we offer: our world-class festivals, our unmatched culinary landscape, our thriving creative sector, and our expanding portfolio of medical tourism, sports tourism, eco-visits, and food culture experiences.
Inter-Caribbean began its Trinidad-Barbados service on Sunday and is scheduled to operate 4 flights weekly. Terry-Ann Brown-Campbell, TTT News.
St. Lucia nationals will soon need a visa to travel to the United Kingdom. A move the British government says follows a rise in visitors later claiming asylum. Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre made the disclosure during Monday's pre-cabinet press briefing, citing an official letter from the UK outlining concerns about misuse of visitor entry and risks linked to citizenship by investment programs. However, the Prime Minister says St. Lucia has strengthened its due diligence processes and is working with the British officials to ensure legitimate travel to the UK continues. In sports, we spotlight athletics. Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association President Garth Gale says outstanding performances at the recent Carifta Games trials have strengthened confidence that Jamaica will once again dominate the regional championships in Grenada next month. Gale described the trials as, quote, superb, end quote, highlighting the work of local coaches and several exceptional displays by young athletes. Among these standout performers were Shanoya Douglas of Holland High, who clocked a world-leading 11.06 seconds in the under-20 100 meters and 22.58 seconds in the 200 meters, ranking among the fastest times globally this season. Western Jamaica's Sanjay Seymour also impressed, running a personal best 10.20 seconds to place second in the 100 meters before winning the 200 meters, while Rakeem Reed of Excelsior High took the 100 meters title in 10.16 seconds, the second fastest under-20 time in the world this year. In the field events, Michael Andre Edwards of Jamaica College captured both the long jump and triple jump titles, posting marks that rank among the top globally in the under-20 category. And that's the news on PBCJ. Thanks for watching.